Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover, from a new report on the monthly stats for rappers for May on streaming platforms that sparked some surprises on social media for those who pay more attention to narratives than facts. We also have more on the game's comments about Eminem, and the director of arts and culture in Detroit has shared their thoughts on the Eminem narrative from the game that sparked reactions accordingly. Kendrick Lamar has also set a new record that highlights an issue with the current system that's used to compile the Hot 100 in the United States. The UK charts, for instance, has addressed this issue to keep the singles chart for actual singles. As this popped up a few hours ago, Kendrick Lamar and Taylor Page's We Cry Together records the biggest single-week downward movement in Hot 100 history, 81 spots, and this has made headlines across the board and sparked reactions like, all those viral tweets, believe social media hype at your own risk 100%, and more. Not Kendrick Lamar competing with Taylor Swift and Nicki Minaj as the biggest music downward movement in history with his comeback album after going on break for 5 years, laughing emoji. But this certainly wasn't a song made to chart in the first place, and only did because of the streaming era of music, as now an entire album can chart on the singles chart on the week of its release. It's why songs on the chart these days in the United States seem to come and go at the blink of an eye, because they are not actually in quote singles by historical standards. It's just the change the streaming era brought with it. And this issue was addressed in the United Kingdom when Ed Sheeran dropped an album where all the tracks charted in the top 20. This was back in 2017. Official charts company shakes up rules to stop the Ed Sheeran effect. It adds, artists will be allowed only 3 of their most popular tracks in the top 100, a move to ensure the chart continues to be a showcase for the new hit and talent, which are the lifeblood of UK music. In Kendrick's case, a song that wasn't made to chart as a single has now set a downward spiral record for him, and he's getting clowned. But for some context of how first week streams muddled the waters of what counts as a hit single in the United States, Michael Jackson, for instance, has charted 51 songs on the Hot 100, done at a time when you couldn't chart an entire album with first week streams on the same Hot 100. Lil Baby, for instance, has charted double the hits of Michael Jackson, 102 songs so far. Now, is this an accurate representation of who has more hits? Perhaps the UK system got it right. Thoughts? Moving on to the next point today, since Game recently talked about how they don't play Eminem in the streets, clubs or locker rooms. Like we covered in the previous videos, a lot of examples to shut down this point were posted online after he made the claim, and this one caught the attention of Detroit's art and culture director. It goes, in quotes, "Nobody listens to Eminem in the locker room, laughing emoji." She reacted to this adding, "Forgive the language, but needed to say a word from Detroit about how envy is ugly, and Eminem needs no defending. His music does it for him in the locker room, living room, and Super Bowl. Sigh." Hot take on Eminem is already being used to respond to this from the last video when they were piling on Mickey Fact for tweeting about Eminem, and these people are relentless. As in response, some are still asking, name the places across the globe that black people listen to Eminem.
Hey y'all, come look at this.
Eminem literally goes #1 when he drops in the most populous black country in the world, Nigeria, and to that a user response, African countries, Nigeria, Ghana, etc. But they don't stop, perhaps? I don't see anyone from there repping it. My wife is Nigerian, and I can tell you half family/friends are not playing it. Nigeria has a population of 206 million. An anecdote of one person of Nigerian descent is irrelevant to the discussion. You don't have to be a genius to know this. Just shows how hard some of these people fight to keep a dead narrative alive. On a side note, speaking on the Super Bowl, some even came for Eminem's performance recently on Twitter. But dude seems to always have the objective data on his side, as when you head over to the video, it shows the most viewed segment is when Eminem pops up on stage. Moving on to the next point, Eminem continues his massive run on YouTube. It's 5 months in a row in 2022 so far, a report goes. Rappers with the most YouTube views in May. And like other reports, 50 Cent's been on this list too, though his last studio album dropped in 2014. And stakes like, so 50 Cent being on this list every month for years with no album since 2014 went over your heads, thinking emoji. The dude they say fell off, this should be going viral, what the F? And speaking on Eminem and 50 Cent, another expands. Eminem and 50 Cent being on this list with a bunch of millennials and Gen Z rappers shows how well they took the time to craft classic videos to timeless songs. And as usual, those who pay more attention to narratives are left asking questions. Who's still listening to Eminem that much? Like clockwork, who the F still goes and listens to Eminem? And more, who watching Eminem be? To which a user responds, "You clowns never get tired laughing my bum off. He is always there, why so pressed?" Even on Spotify in 2022 in the United States alone, despite not dropping since 2020, Eminem made the top 10 most streamed in the US so far in 2022, and that one got people asking, "I don't see the game here since he claims no one listened to Eminem music." That will be all for today. Share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this, and see you on the next one.